Gym Dad Reviews here. Today I gotta wear the blue light glasses because we are gonna get sharper with this today, this review by Intelligent Muscles. So I figure I'll try to look a little bit more intelligent for you guys, look a little more studious to the game here. But this pre-workout, I have tried it about 4 times now, so I got a pretty good idea of what I want to preach for you guys here today. And first off, another 30 servinger. This is a pretty sweet trend we got going on here. Last couple we review have had 30. So once again, you're going to have to figure out which kid you like the most to pass this baby down to in the will, because this thing is going to be on your shelf for quite a while because we got some exotic stimulation going on. But just hold on for a second. If it's as much as it says it is in here, then it should be a once a weeker. But let's see how these effects play out, and if maybe this thing's an everyday, or for all we know, it could be, as good as a C4 energy drink or some bullshit like that. But 30 servings, bomb pop. I'm gonna clip the review. We'll cut it right now. Okay, so I've told you guys, I've taken this one a few times now. Haven't quite felt the effects on it, so now it's time to get all fucking scientific with our scales before I write this one off and call it a day and give this one a non-passing grade. Now, I know I've mentioned a lot about you MC squared motherfuckers out there. What I mean by that is you get all fucking caught up and sensitive about clinical doses instead of going in there and pumping the damn iron. And so we're going to find out, we're going to get a little MC squared here and see if the grammage, so I do this sometimes, I usually just take a scoop, but if the pre-workout's just not jiving, I've had times when like the scooper is different among batches and or like the weight, or even like, I know for you Stim Junkie fans have been down for a while, Uncle Eddie used to always say to make sure you shake your pre-workouts with them. He had channels Muscle Players. He has a sub company too as well, so you have to check him out. But he was awesome. But he'd always advocate shaking those babies up so the ingredients all got nice and level. But so we're gonna shake that thing up real good and then officially weigh this baby on the scale just to make sure we're hitting it's 9.861. So we're gonna go and be generous and give this baby 10 grammage. Let's get it. So I've done level scoop the last 3 times I've taken this thing. I'm not feeling it. So I'll make sure that, all you guys, these scale things, like you put your cup on first and then zero that motherfucker out. I feel like a damn drug dealer. Toss that in there. All right, so it shot at 9, then it went to 8, and then went to 9. So let's put, that was a level scoop. I don't have like this scale just gives me the flat gram. So we got 8, then a 9. So let's just get this baby up to like the correct one before we write this one out. Check on like just a touch for tenderness. Okay. So that got us to 10, about 10 grams. It's shooting between 10 and 11. So I had to throw a little bit more on to get it to that. It's just about 10 grams is the scoop size. And right now it's kind of, my scale's bouncing between 10 and 11. So let's see before we write this one off if it just needs a little bit more to kick it in that right gear. While I got this thing going, I'm gonna jump back in here real quick and just kind of show you guys the flavor, get a flavor mixability. This is probably one of the rare times you'll see me doing this, but I got everything set up and the phone out right here, so for this measurements, might as well do it. So we definitely got some blue color. Sometimes I laugh at myself that there's like artificial colors in this stuff, and I'm complaining about artificial coloring, but then again, you're throwing all these wild stims into your body. You kind of contradicting yourself there, but anyway, you definitely can see you got some artificial coloring going on there. Mixability, great. That still blows my mind why people do mixability reviews on pre-workout. I mean, as long as there's not creatine in it, it's gonna mix perfectly fine. But this one actually does have creatine in it, so it's gonna sit there at the bottom a little bit, but just swoosh it around real quick, just like we're at the club. Yes, pretty solid flavor. I mean, we're not going to do like flavor reviews and shit, but it's like a really light, those blue popsicles you had back in your schoolyard days that you and your chums would the big stick ones that make all the trash cheap as hell. But it kind of reminds me of the blue version of those, just a watered down lighten, which I'm all for. I hate when pre-workouts they try to make it like some sort of beachside margarita beverage that's like crazy thick, and you can tell it's got all sorts of sweetener in it. I mean, those are nice, enjoyable, but I'd rather just have it a little light, good flavored, and down the hatch. That way we don't have to pay the piper for any stomach issues while we're working out. But let's see how this thing works. And then, as you can see from my review, the flavor is pretty good. It kind of gave you a sneak peek of the effects. I had to get the scale out and measure it out a little bit to give a true synopsis on the effects and how I felt about the pre-workout. But like I said in the review, when I cut out to do the weight and the mixing, it's about 10 grams. A scoop is 9.861 to be exact. My scale only does the flat gram, so I went ahead and ended up, it was bouncing between the 10 and 11, so I went on the heavier side with the last time I used this thing. The flat scoop was kind of like going on the 8 to 9 side, so maybe I wasn't cutting it a gram short the first couple times I took it, so this time I weighed on the heavier side since I didn't quite feel much effects the first 3 times. And so today I took it on the full scoop to 10 to 11 grams, and I'm still not vibing that much with this one. It's, to me, the energy kicked in 20 to 30 minutes, and it was just a standard like caffeine energy. The beta alanine at 3.5 milligrams, and I guess I'm getting ahead of myself jumping to the effects already, but beta alanine 3.5, creatine mono, which we don't really see too often in pre-workouts. It's such a damn cheap ingredient. I don't get excited about creatine being in a pre-workout. I can buy that on my own in bulk, so that means nothing to me. So literally no pump ingredients at all in this pre-workout. Taurine, malic acid for the 500 milligrams, caffeine anhydrase 400 milligrams, chlor, which is on the heavier end, so we should be feeling some good caffeine energy. And then chlorine citrate 250 milligrams. Guarana seed extract, the 200 milligrams, that's 22% of that is going to be caffeine effect. So if you want to do the math on that, 200 times 22%, add that on top of your 400 milligrams of caffeine. So this should get you feeling a pretty damn good energy buzz just off the caffeine. And then we have 4-methylamine, 2-amina. And I watched some other reviews on this one, and it's not really exact on what that is. Maybe we're guessing Dmba from what I'm getting from most pre-workouts, which is a brother of Dmha. Dmba kind of started popping up, maybe 2 years ago. I've taken a few Dmba pre-workouts. Stem Shady, Rage AF was another one I tried, and all in all, it can have a really great euphoric vibe. You grow a tolerance to it quicker. It seems to take a little bit longer to kick in. That can lead to some insane tunnel vision and amazing euphoria. And so there's 225 milligrams of that. And then Ryogenesis, 150 milligrams. So we're getting some of that too. And then Noopept, I love Noopept at 20 milligrams, another nootropic. That one's not illicit as much. I think that might be on the FDA watch list, if I recall. And then yohimbine HCl, that's not alpha yo, but yohimbine HCl at 6 milligrams, is a shit ton of that, and that's going to help tie all those stimulations together. Maybe get you a little bit of nose dribbling effect. You can Wikipedia the difference between those and alpha yos, but one of the brothers of alpha yo. But all in all, nothing negative about this one, just nothing spectacular. Like, there was an energy rush, slight euphoric kick, but I honestly, with that much caffeine, it's like you should be getting a pretty good euphoric kick just off, feel good vibe, just based upon the caffeine intake. I didn't really feel anything like special in this one, even taking it at a heap scoop. When I first took it, the couple days before I had taken the Kill Switch pre-workout, which I'll put a link to that review at the end of this one. If you haven't tried that one yet or watched my review, you got to check that out. That one is a fucking ride. And so I kind of thought this might be the effect of, like, you're in comm class and you got freaking Martin Luther King speech master going right before you, and you end up going next. And so therefore you look awful because it was so damn good. And it may just be the fact that you went after a stud. And so I took it once. It felt absolutely nothing, like just like standard. Like I felt caffeine kick, but I mean, absolutely nothing like in the ways of like what showing on the label. I wasn't feeling any of that. So it's like, I'll switch to another pre for 3 or 4 workouts, and I'll come back to this one. Then came back to this one, used it 2 more times, one time on a flat scoop. And then the next time, like I showed in my video, like with my weighted scoop, even going on the heavier side. And it definitely, obviously it was better, good rush, good energy. But like, this is, I mean, we're doing a channel and we're doing a review on like the dosage. It's like I've seen videos where people are like, oh, this is a great pre-workout, you just got to take a scoop and a half of it. Well, you could literally say that about anything. I've got friends, I mean, I remember back in the day, there's someone at the gym that loves C4. And he's like, I was talking shit about C4. He's like, oh no, it's an awesome pre-workout, you just need to take 3 scoops of it. I'm like, I'm not going to fucking take 3 scoops of C4 for like 12 servings of a bottle and then justify it being a good pre-workout. Like, we're taking the pre-workout for what the dosage is saying. You know, I'll give it some leeway with a heaping scoop. There's some pre-workouts I'd be like, yeah, like for instance, BPI. I did the review on the new 1MR. It was very good at a level scoop. It just a game changer at a heap. And they had 30 servings in there as well. And it's a big name brand, so maybe they were trying to not have, like, they know that some of the users might not be crazy experienced Stim Junkie users, so maybe they wanted to do the level scoop on the safer end. And then the Stim Junkies can go, they'll know that they're crazy motherfuckers and they'll heap this thing anyway. And so that's how they looked at it. But for a company like this, like a small company, and we're not here to shine no schlongs, as GGH, Garage Gym Homie, would say. I'm going to tell it to you guys straight, and I would expect a little bit better out of a smaller niche company like this. But I even with the heaping scoop, yeah, it was better. It felt good. Would I like tell my friends and advocate and stomp the ground for this thing that people need to go buy this? Probably not. If you do want to buy it and give it a try yourself, go ahead. I mean, it's still a very good pre-workout. Just not for what the label's displaying, the price. And then, when you're buying from a small company like this, you run the risk of, they don't, the facility, you don't know what kind of facility they're manufacturing in, things like that. So it's like, if you kind of pay for you have to take the effects, you get the damn good effects, but also a little risk involved in a product being not 100% sure where it comes from. You kind of expect the benefits and the results to be a little bit better than what it is. I could be taking this thing, 3 to 4 times a week. I think you'd be all right. I mean, I don't think that if it does have what it has in it, what it's saying on the label and claiming, it's got to be a pretty minuscule amount. I know there's been other reviews out there that have said that this one had crazy tunnel vision and intense focus. But I'm just reporting on how I felt with the pre-workout. And me, myself, is the only person I can really speak for. I don't know, the people might get mad and say, oh, it's a damn good pre-workout, but from my experience, I've given this thing its fair shot. I've took it once, waited a few days, took it a couple more times, weighed the scoop, did all the tests and everything. I got all crazy with my mad scientist scale, and still I didn't quite get the vibe that I was feeling. Euphoria was maybe a 6 out of 10, 5 out of 10. I used this baby on a Friday too today, and still just like, even sometimes that day of the week can even add a little euphoric element to it as well. So it's not like I'm training legs on a Monday morning at 5 o'clock and saying the pre-workout sucks. I tried this thing on legs on a Thursday, chest on a Friday. I did this thing, I did triceps on a Monday with it. So there's no day of the week. I kind of took that variable into account too when I take pre's, as sometimes it can just be an outcome of the day you trained on and the body part you did. If you're not a huge fan, like for me, my least favorite thing to train is probably shoulders. I love training anything, any day of the week, but I never judge a pre-workout based upon like my least favorite body part to train. If I want to, and like, my favorite thing to hit, I love hitting a good old fashioned arm day. And like, if I'm not going to go taking it on an arm day and then making a video saying how much it's awesome, how much you need to buy this pre-workout and how awesome it is, I'm going to
give it a go on like a shoulder day and a back day first and get a true vibe on the feel for it. But overall, Euphoria, 4 or 5 out of 10. Raw energy. I mean, there's quite a bit of caffeine in there, and I felt it. I don't know. It surprised me. I didn't even look at this label for the caffeine until after the fact, and I was gonna guess around 300. And I don't drink coffee throughout the day at all. I take my pre-workout every day, and that's it. I have no other caffeine source throughout my day, so it's not a matter of fact of I've already been buzzed up on caffeine, and then I'm taking this on top. Raw energy, I would even give it like maybe an 8. It was decent. It got me going for sure. Woke me up a little bit. And tunnel vision, that was a little bit better than Euphoria. Euphoria just fell flat for me. There's just nothing really in it, Euphoria wise. But tunnel vision, I could see that. I could see there's definitely a little touch. There might be a sprinkle of something in here. But I'd give it maybe an 8 out of 10 on tunnel vision. Definitely put that at the highest realm. Sense of urgency. Had a slight nose dribble from the 6 milligrams of yohimbine HCl, but nothing negative about this one. Like there's no reason you shouldn't buy it or like be scared to take it, or if you did buy it already, it's okay. You can still use this thing on, if I had a really high stress day and I didn't want to get all stemmed out of my mind, or I don't really like using high stems for like legs and back. Maybe this might be one that I might reach for because I'm not going to be floating in the clouds, or, not so tunnel visioned in that I lose the heart rate's going crazy and whatnot. So I mean, there's still a purpose for this, my arsenal pre-workouts. So I'm not gonna like just throw this thing out. I mean, this shit's expensive, and I'm paying for this stuff myself anyway. So even if it does suck, I'll find a way to use it, even if it's chucking half a scoop in my water to start the day to get my work going. But in the end, give this thing a try if you would like. Me personally, I'm not gonna stomp on the ground and tell you to go run out and buy it, but it could just be the batch I got. Sometimes these things, it all depends based upon. I've had some where I bought, me and my brother bought some. It was Enjoy the Insanity, where he bought one flavor and I bought the other, and I freaking loved my flavor. He didn't. We swapped and tried them, and mine kicked out. His was awful. Like I felt like I drank water. And his was, mine was, he was flying sky high on mine. So it could be a situation where maybe this is the flavor batch didn't turn out too well. So with these smaller companies, sometimes you have variations, batches to batches, flavors to flavors. I even heard that a little bit for quality vitamins. My brother got the lemon lime. I got the fruit punch or some shit like that. I can't remember what flavor it was exactly. But anyway, the lemon kicked ass, and the fruit punch was it was good. It was pretty wild, but nothing insane, nothing in the clouds like his fruit punch was. So you can take that into account too. But anyway, that's my review on this one. Like, subscribe, check out my other videos. Let's keep this thing rolling. Helps it grow, and we're gonna keep giving it to you straight. So like I said, I've been doing a lot of videos where I'm pumping pre-workouts up, and I'm gonna tell how it is if this one just didn't quite do it for me. Thanks for joining.